Welcome to another episode of The Consistent Creator, episode 51. And this one here, the part 2 to episode 16, and the importance of succession, part 2. And this was inspired by my career coach, Vanessa from LinkedIn. So, special shout out to you, Vanessa. But she posed a question on a post a while back talking about, the importance of developing future leaders and why, most organizations or most current leaders don't develop the future leaders. And I have a couple of ideas on reasons why I feel that way. So, and this also goes back to a call that I had with somebody I'm really getting to know, Lester Thornhill, who's the CEO of Life Abundance. So special shout out to you, Lester, as well. But me and Lester had a call, and we were talking about, the importance of developing future leaders. And based on our conversation and having a reflection, I think there's 3 main reasons why most current leaders don't develop future leaders. Number 1 is competition. Number 2 is they have to protect the check. And number 3 is insecurity/ego. So let's talk about competition, right? For most leaders, they don't want to develop leaders because they're trying to maximize their time in that seat. So it's like, why would I tell you the blueprint, or why would I tell you how to be a great leader, or even to be a high performer, when that's going to be in competition with myself? Now, but you shouldn't be afraid of that. I love what they say, Sometimes you're going to have the young lion is going to outdo the old lion, which means that everybody has their time. So, just like the current leaders of today, they was that young lion at one point in time that took the place of the older lion that was before them. And they had no problem, when it was their time, they had no problem stepping up and becoming the new lion. But now that you got people behind you, now you want to delay that because, you don't want to be overthrown. And it's like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. But this is also where you're focusing more on your individual self than the business or the goal or the cause. But it also goes into, too, what I talked about, pride and ego. And also, too, you got to protect your check. But the whole competition thing really is that you're afraid that you're going to train somebody and that they're going to get really good at it, and then they're going to outshine you. That's the whole reason why, because you don't want to be outshined. And it's really because of your pride and ego. I tell 2 quick stories. When I was working in retail, I had a situation where they noticed that I was a quick learner, and I wanted to learn different things. But some of the older leaders, they didn't want to teach me this stuff. Some of them did, but most of them didn't. So there were times where I just used to try stuff in trial and error, and I'll figure stuff out. And I'll never forget when we had a situation at the retail store where something happened and our systems went down. And I remember the sequence on how to get the systems back up. And my general manager, he was getting to it, but by the time he got to it, I had already solved it. And the systems came back up, and he looked at me and was like, well, how did you do that? I was like, it was something that I learned. He was like, who taught you that? I was like, nobody taught me that. I was like, and I, because me and him didn't have the best relationship. So I kind of told him, I was like, well, you should know this. You should know how I did it. Now, he didn't like my tone, but that was because, we had some animosity between the two of us. But that was also because of competition. He knew that I was on a rise, and he didn't want me to take his position, which leads into he wanted to protect his check. He wanted to protect his position, and he felt threatened by me. Now, because of the pride and the ego and the insecurity, he wasn't going to come out and say that, but that's really what that was. I had another situation, too, where at another company where I was growing, I was learning different things, but nobody really wanted to teach me certain things. And once again, I had to learn. I developed and I got good. But me being a corporate trainer, when I had the people behind me, even though I was the #1 producer, I had no problem teaching the people behind me. I even got criticized in one of my reviews for training people so well because I had closed the gap. But my job was to what was in the best of the team. It wasn't worried about me protecting my spot as being, the greatest of all time or whatever the case may be. My goal was to help them. And the ironic part about it is, the more I started sharing with people, the more they came back to me. Because I would tell them certain things. And they would have notes and everything else. And I'm thinking, okay, cool, I'm giving them everything. I'm giving them most everything that they need and the stuff and beyond. And they still came back. But that was also out of respect. So, see, sometimes you can give, and that will put you in more of a demand than if you just tried to protect yourself. I know because I made that mistake which is number 2, which is protecting the check. I was at a situation earlier in my career where I wanted to protect my position too. But that was because of my pride, also my insecurity and my ego. But in order for us to be, a great society and a great business community, whether this is in family or whether this is in business, we need to develop the future leaders of tomorrow. That's how we're going to keep this stuff going. That is how we can keep the success going. So don't be concerned about competition. Don't be concerned about protecting your check or protecting your position. And don't get caught up in your insecurities and your ego, because everything is a team sport anyway. So you need a team in order to get stuff done. So this is the end of the video. I hope you got some value out of this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing another one. Simmons out.